Welcome to the Life of Artists podcast. Today I'm thrilled to welcome Sidonia Doica, a talented Romanian actress based in Bucharest. She holds BA degree in acting from East 15 Acting School in London and currently pursuing her master degree at the National University of Theatre and Film in Bucharest. She's been thriving as actress and musician in film and theatre and currently working as a DJ in the local radio. Before we dive into the episode, please don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Life of Artists podcast. Growing up in Romania, how that shaped your perspective towards arts and how did you start being interested in arts?
I'm from a very small town in Romania, from Romania. And the thing is, we do have a theater. And I kind of grew up there in a way or another because at 15, I started to go to the theater classes. So basically, my mom used to take me to the theater. So that's how I wanted to get in this kind of environment. But yeah, I started doing music when I was 5. I started studying piano and then I started studying guitar. So I think, I don't know, they kind of came naturally. I don't know how, but somehow they just came naturally for me, in terms of my lifeline. Um, but it's very interesting because it's very different what's happening even now, what's happening in Romania, whereas what's happening in, I don't know, in the UK, because I used to study in the UK. Um, and because I come from a very poor environment, um, that kind of wanted me to create something that is very meaningful for the people, um, and something that they can relate to, because I saw different perspectives. I come from a very good family, but I saw a lot of um, poor families that didn't have a lot of things, and yeah, somehow growing up in this kind of environment, seeing this kind of people, I wanted to create something for everyone. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. It's honestly that you have this powerful thing in your heart you want to explore and give back to the community. I believe that's my understanding of it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to give you a little bit of context in terms of my the environment that I used to live in, but yeah, somehow it is different. And obviously, I don't know how it is in Poland, but here in Romania we have state theaters and we have independent theaters as well. It's different. It's a little bit different from the Western kind of way of thinking about this kind of.
You mentioned that you went to school in England, and I believe it's East 15 school, right?
It is, yeah.
So how can you share with us what was your time there, and how did it shape you of being an actor?
Right. So I studied my BA there. I did BA acting and contemporary theatre. And yes, the thing is, I went there when I was 19. After 4 years of doing drama classes. And it was an impulse, I think, for me to go out there in the UK and try to do my BA there. And obviously I got in. I went there, and I think, first of all, it opened me as a person. It had changed me so much living there and seeing a different culture, getting to know those people. because we are different. In a way, we're not, but we are.
Yeah.
And the thing is trying to adapt to their way of thinking, their environment, trying to be part of that community,
Mm-hmm.
kind of made me obviously the person that I am today, but made me think of the art in general as a free tool, I guess. Um, because I feel like I can do anything that I want, obviously in a good way,
Yeah.
but I can I can be powerful within my own creativity. Because I was meant to do that within the courses. I was meant to go full and um, be out there, and be very present.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was the beginning of it, and that shaped me. I remember a very big unlock for me was when I was doing clowning in my second year. Yeah. And that was when I really started to feel that drive within me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now I can do this. I can be on stage and I can be with those people, with my colleagues. I can be there for the audience, and I can make them feel something, which is great. Um, and that's how I think art should be. Like, we should be there on stage for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I don't know, sometimes we are there to entertain people, sometimes we are there um to teach them a lesson, to put a
No.
mirror in front of their
No.
faces. And one big thing that remained with me is something that our coordinator told us. It's not about us as individuals, as actors, maybe. It's about the process, and it's about the finished product for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of remained with me because, yeah, I really believe it's not about us. It's about the project. And we should put everything in that project, without being um, egoistic about this.
Hmm. But I think in ours, being egoistic is very, 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 how you say that? How you say in a nice word? It's like very, everyone has it at some degree. Some people
Yeah,
have ego, some people have lower ego, but I think kind of drives in the arts, like the egoistic persona.
yeah, obviously. I mean, we all are as human beings,
Yeah.
obviously. But like, we need to find that ego that drives the product, not
Yeah.
like puts it down because of, like, I don't know, I have an opinion and
Yeah.
I get this hold of it, and then the other person has another opinion, but I'm actually gonna fight with that person because my opinion is more important than yours. But it's not about this. It's about seeing the real big picture and getting something good out of it.
Mhm. And how did I went to US, so probably I will relate to study acting. But I think how you were feeling as an outsider being in the with the people who they're native speakers of English and you're not on the beginning. Like, how did you manage to, go through that phase? Because that's challenging, I think, mentally even at the beginning.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was very, very challenging within in my first 3 months. That's what I remember. My first 3 months were like, oh my God, what am I doing here? um, yeah, I think um, I obviously I studied more. Um,
Yeah.
I studied more up than anyone in my class, I think. Me and whatever the other internationals, because we were like three of us, yeah, in my class. Um, and yeah, I wanted to fit, I think, within that community. So that drove me into this place of studying more and more. Um, but luckily, I have a very, very good ear in terms of because I studied music, so my ear is very, very good. So I started to pick up words and I started to rehearse them, like phrases and stuff like that. But I remember something. Oh my God. Um, Obviously I was in London, yeah. And I used to live with somebody from Scotland,
Wow.
somebody from Birmingham, and somebody from Oxford. That's in my first year of drama school. And her sister, the sister of that one from Scotland, she came to us, and obviously she was from Scotland, but she used to study in Bath. So her
Oh,
accent was just incredible for me to understand. And I was just like, okay, yeah, of course I understand, but I couldn't understand a word. And I was just nodding, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I started to realize that, okay, if I don't study, I'm going to be fucked. Like, I'm going to be in a puddle of something trying to get out. But yeah, I think, I don't know, trying to rehearse, trying to repeat, trying to study as much as you can. That would be my piece of advice. And obviously, it was kind of difficult because you have to adapt. They don't adapt to
yeah,
you. You have to adapt.
agree 100%. But now when I was preparing for our podcast, you said you went back to Romania to study master degree, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it now. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Um, it's interesting. Yeah, but in a way. I'm gonna give you a little bit of context. So I did my BA and I came back here in Romania because I felt like it. I was just like, maybe I'm gonna try something here. I missed my country. And yes, I did 2 projects. And then I was just like, okay, maybe I should go back to the UK. I started to talk to my friends, trying to settle everything in terms of housing and But when I was ready with everything, I remember I was supposed to go there in March.
Of
Uh,
2020.
yeah. And the pandemic started, and we were in lockdown. And I was like, okay, right, I'm not gonna go back, obviously. Um, and yeah, I got more projects after the lockdown. And I realized that maybe I should stay here for a while and see what's gonna happen. Um, and I did. And then because we have state theaters, we have this humanistic view about art, about how we are supposed to do this yeah, art in general. I was just like, okay, because people told me, okay, you studied in the UK, you are an outsider, you didn't study here in Romania. I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna apply for my master degree. So yeah, I auditioned for it and I got in just because I encountered this wall in front of my face all the time, almost. So yeah, I decided to do that for myself and for my career. But obviously, it's not the best option because if you're thinking about it, you should be free within an artistic environment. But sometimes it is like that. And I don't know if I did the right choice or not. But yeah, it was something that I decided a year ago. And obviously now I'm in my second year of MA. And yeah, I studied some things that I didn't know, which is great. Obviously, you get something out of anything.
Of course, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I decided to do my MA here, and because it's free.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's a great thing, like to have a free school, because I don't know, like, a lot of people listen in US and in UK, you have to pay from your own pocket usually.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't started to pay for my BA yet.
Mm.
Yes. But I knew that it was gonna cost me a lot of money,
Yeah.
20 something K
I think
something.
that's reality when you're trying to, like, pursue acting in, like, in other countries like UK or US. You have to pay for it, and the price is super high sometimes.
Yeah, and yeah, here is free. I don't know how it is in Poland, but
So, with me, I was applying 3 times to Poland
right.
to the acting school, and I never got accepted.
Mm,
So I was like, okay, going to somewhere else. So I went. I don't know how I ended up in the US. I think that was my thinking. I'll make it, and I was there for a year doing au pair program. Like a babysitting kind of
yeah.
for the American family. So I did that for a year, and then I started preparing myself for the auditioning in US, in New York, for the acting school and everything. So I didn't get accepted to everything when I was applying in New York, but that was like kind of like mind blowing. Like,
Yeah, I know. I know. This was actually my second time because applying for an auditioning here for an MA. Because my first time I didn't get accepted. Accepted. It was when after I finished my BA, because I came here and I was just like, well, I don't know anybody, so I might as well do some, I don't know, networking and
yeah,
stuff like that. But I didn't get accepted, so I was like, okay, maybe I should go back to the UK, as I told you. But yeah, life is very weird sometimes.
you take but like you take turns and turns. And you said you're a musician and like you're a DJ now and the radio. Like, how are you balancing with every single, like, being in the school, being a musician, being an actress? Like, how are you balancing that kind of life?
I would not say that I have a very balanced life right now. My life is work at the moment. But yeah, I'm trying to work around my schedule. That's all I can say, that I'm really trying to work around my schedule. And yeah, the music, well, it's not really on the side, but for the moment, it's just a little bit, in the shadows. I mean, I'm gonna have a concert next week, but it is it is somehow in the shadows. I'm gonna go back to it when I have a little bit more time. But in terms of the radio, well, it's something that I started doing 1 year ago. Actually, I had an internship because when I got into my MA, well, there wasn't a lot of things happening really at the acting classes. So yeah, I got a call because I auditioned for the radio actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I sent them because they posted on Facebook. Yeah, they posted on Facebook that they were looking for new voices, new female voices, and I was just like, okay, maybe why not? And I sent them some tapes, and after 2 months and a half, somebody called me and they were like, okay, can you come in and see if we can work together or not? And I told them that I don't know anything about radio. I started in an internship last year. Yeah, in November, basically, 1 year ago. And I stayed. It, I went to different shows for like 4 months, something like that, trying to learn stuff, trying to, I don't know, find my voice, I guess. I'm still trying to find my voice. And then they gave me a show, and I have it on Sunday. But obviously, when my colleagues are away on holiday, stuff like that, I go to the radio and replace. So I'm doing a little, like just a little bit of this kind of radio thing, trying to find my voice, trying to become better and better. But it's a good way of doing this because obviously I don't know how to do this. They teach me, but yeah, I think it's just a way of listening to other presenters, trying to find your own thing and learning by yourself sometimes. And yeah, they let me do this, which is great. So I'm very grateful because they give me a lot of freedom. So yeah.
Wow. But I think that's very interesting because, like, for example, like me starting with the podcast on the beginning, I knew nothing. But I was like, I love talking to people. I love, like normalize job of being an actor and normalize that like we also have lives. We are human being. And like, I think that drive, I was like, I'm going to figure things out. I don't know how long it's going to take him, but I'm going to make it happen. And, like slowly every day, I'm learning something new. And it's amazing because like, like as a reality of the actors, like we don't get jobs every day.
Oh, yes.
We do not. So you have to like find a new way to explore your life, or you might end up, I don't know, sitting somewhere and doing nothing, that's like, personally, I don't like it, like sitting and doing nothing. So
No, it's not great. I'm the same. Yeah. I guess that's it. And actually, it's very important to have something on the side and something to go to, because if not, you're gonna lose yourself, in my opinion.
Yeah. So how are you navigating this, like, kind of like, mentally, this challenging times now? You like doing MA now, and like, how are you coping, like, mentally with that kind of pressure? Because, like, acting school is a high pressure environment.
Yeah. It's a little bit chaotic within the university as well, which is not really great. But I'm trying to see my friends at least, I don't know, once a week, something like that, so that I can be grounded, hopefully. And I do sports. I go to the gym 2 or 3 times per week. It depends how much time I have, but I do that for myself because it's very important for me, for my healthy my healthy body, my mind as well. And yeah, I think I'm just saying to myself, it's okay. It's gonna pass. It's okay. You gave yourself these 2 years of really going for it, working very hard, and then things are gonna be more settled, because I know this. I didn't used to live like this, like high pressure all the time, all day long. But I know that, in I don't know how many months there are, like 6 months, 7 months, it's gonna be over, and yeah, I'm gonna be more settled within myself, more grounded.
And now you're studying in doing MA, and like, what kind of piece of advice you will give to younger people in your country or even the UK globally? What piece of advice you'll give auditioning for acting schools?
Well, prepare yourself. First of all, I remember when I was auditioning for my BA, I prepared myself for a year. I think you guys, everyone should actually set a goal and work for it, but like set it, let's say, 3 months in advance, so that you have time. And don't rush. Take your time. Try to explore with something. everything within those pieces. And when you're comfortable, when you know that you can play with them, that's when you're actually prepared. Because I believe, music, in music we have jazz, but we
Yep.
can kind of jazz within acting as well, within a text. So like we do this learning thing, this analyzing thing first of all, and then we can play with it.
Yeah.
And when we play with it, then we're going to be present. So try to aim for this present kind of state, like being present in the moment, because it's so important. And yeah, I think that's what I would do, and I did. Even when I auditioned for my MA, even though it was very quick. Like I think I prepared only like I don't know 2 weeks or something like that because I didn't know that I wanted to.
Wow.
But I stayed every day and I tried to analyze and I tried to play with the pieces and I tried to do something with them. I don't think that I was very, very well prepared when I went in, but when I got into the room, my first thought was like, okay, just breathe and try to be present. Try to go from zero and everything is going to be okay. Try to connect with those people and everything is going to be okay. So yeah, I think that's what I would do again and again.
So how are you overcoming this fear? Because like I think like when I was auditioning in US, so like how do you overcome this fear of being like, out there, people very well professional judging
Yeah.
you on your performance? How you overcame that? Like
Yeah. Every single time when I have something big coming up, I try to be very focused. Again, trying to stay in the moment. But to calm down, sometimes I do Wim Hof breathing exercises.
I do him as well.
All right.
I'm the only crazy one, but I hear a lot of people are doing him.
It's great, like it calms you down and
Yeah.
try to ground yourself and it does work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will link him below even in this episode. Like it does make magic to be honest. Like your brain or like your nervous system calms down immediately for some reason. Like I don't know why.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So I do that. And if I don't do that, obviously I do some kind of meditation, but still trying to do some breathing exercises with that meditation. And yeah, I do Pilates beforehand, before going to an audition. Some kind of stretching exercises if I don't have time to like do a whole routine. Yeah, and I try to nourish myself in terms of what I eat as well.
Yeah.
That's what I've realized this. I try to eat healthy and something that wouldn't get me bloated because our digestive system is linked to our nervous system and it can actually give us a lot of anxiety. And yeah, so I try to do this kind of things. Yeah, that's what I do. And try to listen to, no, I don't try. I listen to a lot of music. Music that would put me in a mood, in that kind of mood that I need for my audition.
But now, like you lived in UK and you lived in Romania right now. How you compare those two lives of being like an artist there and here?
Oh, well, that's the thing. It's very, very different because in the UK, you have a show, yeah, for like, I don't know, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. It depends how big the show is. And then it's over. Here in Romania, you rehearse for a show, then you have the opening nights because it's like 2 or 3. And then you're going to have this show running for years. So I have a show that we've been playing for 5 years now.
Wow.
And there are a lot of shows like that. So basically, yeah, almost every month I have, I don't know, 10 shows, something like that. It depends. It depends on the period. It depends on a lot of things. So it's very different because it tends to become very chaotic. In my opinion, I don't think it's great. I would love to have something more Western, to not feel that I have an opening night every single time that I go on stage. Because if you haven't played in that show for, I don't know, 6 months, then it's gonna feel like you have an opening night.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not really great in terms of this, in my opinion. I would like to have something more like in the UK. And I've heard a lot of people recently that they would love that kind of system, not this system.
So you think like being like 2 years in a play drags you down in terms of performance, or like it's hard to keep it motivated to have the same kind of excitement every performance?
I think that, yeah, we are excited to go on stage, but we all feel that our shows don't grow.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because an opening night all the time, then they cannot grow, because yeah, you have a rehearsal beforehand, before the show, and then you go on stage, and then you come back doing that show in like a month, 2 or 3. So yeah, it doesn't have that chance to grow and to be great, in my opinion. Whereas if you go on stage every day doing the same thing, then you're gonna find new things.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep it fresh. You're gonna try to develop your character further.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's another thing. Yeah.
So my next question, like kind of like combined into one. In your season of your life, what keeps you inspired, and what are the things you're working on now that you want to share here on the podcast?
Right. What keeps me inspired? A good text gives me inspiration. I love to go to art galleries. I get so much inspiration from paintings and sculptures, music, reading, books, a lot of books. I have to read a lot in this period of time, so it's great. And I guess sometimes what we all need for our creativity to go on and on is to have break. We should go outside. We should do a little bit of sport. We should, I don't know, go into the mountains for whatever, what we want, into the nature, and try to connect with it. And yeah, have some time for ourselves and for our well-being, I guess. And I'm rehearsing for another one. It's called 5 Kinds of Silence. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
No. It's gonna be on starting with December. I think We Are Alone by Sally Abbott. It's very good. It's so good. Like, if you want to read it, please do, because I don't have it in English, but it's such a good piece of writing. I think we are alone. It's great. Yeah, I think she's English, and she's a screenwriter. But this one is a very good piece of theater. It's about some people and their fears, but fear of being alone, fear of um, ending ending up living alone, uh, of death, a lot of this kind of fears. And this piece was written in lockdown. So yeah, everything is very stiff and everything is very like, okay, I want freedom. I want freedom. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want these kind of things. And I think that we all have this within us. I want to be heard. I want to be free. Yeah, I want to be seen. So yeah, it's a very good piece.
Yeah. So thank you for your time and sharing your story. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. I really hope I was coherent.
Make sure to share this episode with your friends, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment down below or reach out to us on social media with your favorite part of today's conversation. And remember to subscribe so you will never miss an episode of Life of Artists podcast. And I will see you next time.